Welcome to this tutorial where I'll be showing you how to make Swiss meringue buttercream from start to finish. You can use it to fill and decorate your cakes, cupcakes and desserts, and it is my go-to buttercream every time because it's not overly sweet, it is smooth and silky, and there's so much you can do with it. My personal favorites is to pipe and paint with Swiss meringue buttercream. It gives you a beautiful glossy finish. Now the first thing we want to do is to get a pot of simmering hot water onto the stove or hot plate. You then want to place a heat-proof mixing bowl on top of this to create a bain-marie or a double boiler, and then place your egg whites and caster sugar in there together. And then I'm going to use this whisk to mix it all together and to make sure that it's all incorporated, the egg and the sugar all together. Now the goal here is not to whip this up by hand. The goal here is just to incorporate it together and to prevent the egg from catching along the sides of the bowl in cooking. So every 30 seconds or so, just give it a gentle mix. We actually want to get to the stage where the sugar and the egg has incorporated into each other, meaning the sugar has all dissolved. Now the exact measurements and recipe can be found in my description box below, so I definitely recommend checking it out. It is totally free for you to download. Now I need to mention that if it's at all possible, the best choice of egg whites is to use pasteurized egg whites from a carton, and this way you only need to warm up this egg white mixture ever so slightly just until the sugar dissolves. Now it is possible to make this recipe with just regular eggs, however in that circumstance I always choose to heat up my egg white mixture to either 72 degrees Celsius or 161 Fahrenheit to pasteurize it myself. I know that a lot of bakers out there actually don't do this step when they use regular eggs. They don't bring it up to such a high temperature, but for me personally I feel a lot safer knowing that I've done everything I can to make sure that my eggs are safe and brought over that 72 degrees Celsius, which helps to kill off any food poisoning bacteria. The only thing to note is that when you do heat up your egg whites to such a high temperature, you do have to be careful to mix it diligently so that it doesn't catch along the sides, and you also have to whisk it for a lot longer on the machine to cool it down. Now if you're doing what I'm doing and using egg whites that are pasteurized from a carton, all you have to do is to test the egg white in between your fingers, and if it doesn't feel grainy anymore, then it is ready to whisk. Now I'm going to place my mixing bowl into my machine, and using the whisk attachment I'm going to whip it up on the highest speed. This will take anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes depending on the room temperature that you're in. I recommend making Swiss meringue buttercream in a cool room temperature, not in a very hot kitchen, as it'll take a while to whip up and cool down. You'll know it's ready when your meringue has whipped up to stiff, fluffy peaks, and the bowl is cool to the touch when you touch it with your hands. Now I'm just going to stop my machine to show you what my meringue looks like. It's fluffy and glossy, and at this stage you can start adding in your butter or fats. My recipe uses butter with a little bit of shortening added. I find the shortening helps to give my buttercream a lighter, whiter tone as opposed to a full butter recipe. And you want to continue whisking this at about a medium to high speed. Now you don't have to stop the machine to add the fats in. You can just continue whisking and then add in about 1 cube or 1 tablespoon at a time. I need to stress how important it is to have your meringue completely cooled down before attempting to add any of the fats in. If it is still warm, then what will happen is your buttercream will start to become very soupy and soft. That said, if that does happen for any reason, you can simply place the whole bowl of warm buttercream into your fridge for about half an hour and then whip it up again to remedy that issue. Now you don't want to put all of your fats in at the same time and whisk it up, as this will cause the meringue to collapse. So you want to add it a little bit at a time and allow it to whisk through to form a really smooth and firm emulsification. Now after adding all of your fats to the meringue, you'll know it's ready when it's come to a creamy, pipeable consistency. Now you can use it straight away at this stage, but I like to take an extra step and swap out the whisk for a paddle attachment and slowly mix it on a low to medium speed. Doing this will help to knock out any residual large bubbles and give you a smoother buttercream to work with. I want to mention that a lot of this video is actually on a time lapse, so it's sped up for your viewing pleasure. So even though it looks like it's going really fast, it's actually originally on a low to medium speed. I leave it beating with the paddle attachment for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then that's it. It's done and ready for piping or decorating any of your cakes or dessert. The last little thing I'd like to include in this tutorial is how to color Swiss meringue buttercream. Now my favorite things to color Swiss meringue buttercream is either with an oil-based color or gel colors. These two types of edible food color works really well with Swiss meringue buttercream. I typically stay away from liquid colors as it causes the buttercream to split, and I don't use powdered colors because it causes the buttercream to become a little bit grainy. If you'd like to learn how to fill and cover a buttercream cake with Swiss meringue buttercream, I'll include a link for that in my description box. And I've also got another fantastic YouTube tutorial on creating a beautiful watercolor effect with buttercream, and I'll put that in the description box below as well. To stay up to date with all new Sugar Cakes videos and tutorials, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you're not missing out on any new content. Catch you guys later!